Before we get into the video, I need you guys to do me a favour. Number 1, get this video to at least 200 likes. Also comments, let me know your thoughts on the case. Now it goes without saying, but some people are completely and utterly heartless. 19-year-old Aramis Sullivan and 25-year-old Brandon Southall found a way to make fast money, even if it meant their methods was to pluck teenagers off the street and hold them for ransom. In other words, holding them hostage. The duo, who acted as part of a gang, had approached 2 young men in McDonald's in Northampton. Aramis and Brandon used their weight to intimidate the 2 innocent young men, dragged them out of the McDonald's and forced them into their own car in August of 2021. Aramis, who was originally from Luton, and Brandon, who was originally from Birmingham, then forced the 2 men into their own car and made them drive from Nottingham all the way to Coventry, by telling the men they would be seriously hurt if they don't comply. Aramis and Brandon made it known to the victims that the ordeal would come to an end only when they were paid £1,000. The victims called their moms and dads and friends and other family members and were able to raise £500 between them. Aramis and Brandon then forced the victims to use their own bank cards to withdraw all the money in their accounts. After, the 2 young men were forced to take Aramis and Brandon to Birmingham and drive around different locations for over 6 hours, before Aramis and Brandon then climbed out of the victim's car. That was the only way they was able to get away. Now, a few days prior to this incident, 19-year-old Aramis and a different man had held a 17-year-old teenager hostage when he was walking across an underpass in Northampton. The victim was grabbed and forced to walk to a woodlanded area where he had to call his mum for funds. Aramis made it known that he would need £200 in order to secure the 17-year-old's release. The mum made the journey to the woodlanded area and then handed over the money. The 2 men were then arrested after the victims and their family came forward and went to the police. Once police began to investigate and scan CCTV at the McDonald's in Northampton and traffic cameras in Northampton, Coventry and Birmingham, it soon became apparent that Aramis and Brandon had developed a pattern and a need and a liking for quick cash by holding people hostage. The 2 men were brazen. They didn't even try to conceal their faces in some cases. Now, the 2 men were quickly arrested, and at Northampton Crown Court, Brandon Southall was sentenced to 11 years in relation to the hostage situation and blackmail and robbery. Aramis Sullivan was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months for the same charges and also fraud. Now let me know, does the sentence match the crime? Stay safe.